Hey everybody, Nathan Ronen, CFA here with another update for those people who are in the CFA program for level 1, level 2, or level 3. This update actually is more answering a common question that I get from many young professionals. A lot of candidates in the CFA program, they're young professionals. They're either starting their careers or have just entering a new career. They're generally, either in college or just recently out of college. They could be in their basically low 20s to even early 30s, mid 30s. That's generally the majority of the candidates that I see, come across and with questions. So I wanted to share this question that I often get from candidates, whether they be level 1, level 2, or level 3. They could be candidates in my program. They could be just people reaching out to me. And that is if I could share some advice, with them, whether it be about the workplace or life or whatever. And if you care to listen to this update, which I think is very helpful, please press the subscribe button and the notifications bell so that you can continue to receive these updates on the CFA program, as well as the periodic, updates I do with, career advice, job advice, or even sometimes life advice. I mean, I'm not a life expert, but, sometimes it's always good to hear advice from somebody that's been out there for a while. Okay, so Nathan, I'm a young professional. They don't say it that way, but you get the point. I'm a young professional. I'm starting out in a career, or I've been in this career for a little, and I just was wondering if you had any kind of pearls of wisdom or any kind of advice that you can give me. Okay, I thought about this question quite a bit before putting this video together. And I could put a list of 25 things, but I don't think that's necessary because number one, it's, a lot of the things you probably already know. And number two, you probably wouldn't listen to the entire 25 things. It's people's attention span is so long. So I would say the first advice I would give young professionals is build connections. Okay. Now, when I say build connections, obviously, people build connections so that they can, find a job in the future, or they can leverage upon relationships, or they can develop business lines with whatever that's not the kind of only connections I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you want to build a rapport with somebody, or you want to be able to reach out to them and, seek advice. How do you do that? I get this very often. People will reach out to me on LinkedIn. They'll reach out to me in other kinds of forums. And, as you know, with, for example, LinkedIn, if somebody invites you to connect, you need to either accept it or ignore it or whatever, reject it. And I will generally accept it because I really have no idea, what the person is thinking or why they're sending out the invitation if I don't know them. And the first thing I'll say is, thank you very much for the invite. Do we know each other? And is there any way that I can be helpful to you? And the answer I get is no, we don't know each other. And I was just wondering, I'm studying for the level 1 exam. Can you give me advice? You see, there's something wrong with that approach right away. Yes, I'm an instructor for the CFA program. Yes, I give advice. Yes, I want to be helpful to people. But therein lies a distinction. When you contact people, make them feel that they're being helpful. Don't use them. Okay? There's a big difference. You want to make people feel that when they're talking to you, when they're with you, when they're, that they stay connected with you, that they are feeling that they're actually helping. People actually do like to help other people. But what people don't like is the feeling of being used. And I think you should many times think about that distinction, because that can either open a door or many times just close the door right there. Okay? And the answer is no, not to ask the person, oh, how are you today? And, how's the weather in New York? And, what are you doing today? That's not building a connection, okay? Because they can see, people are smart. They can see where you're going with this, that you want something. So, maybe a little bit more tuned in and say, look, I'm pursuing a career in investment banking. I noticed that you have been an investment banker, for many years, or you've been a corporate finance, you worked in mergers and acquisitions. And I was just wondering, maybe you could tell me, how have you seen the field change over the years? Because, I'm considering a career in it and I don't really know if it's right for me. So I was wanted to talk to people who have been in the field and tell me about, what they see it, how they see it developing, why they're still in it, why they're not in it. And, that could help me make a decision about whether I want to continue pursuing it. people will appreciate that more than, could you put me in touch with somebody who can get me a job in investment banking, because I've always wanted to do investment banking since I was born. People don't like that. Helpful, using. Make sure you know the distinction. The other thing that I would definitely tell people is very key to key advice for professionals is there's a lot of laziness out there. Be persistent. Be a go-getter. Have passion. Have determination. Really enough said. I hire people all the time, whether it's to, teach a course, or whether it's to teach or to, teach something for me, or to help me with a project or whatever. And I find a lot of times that there's no drive, no determination. They're not persistent. They don't want to really get the job done. They don't have their heart in it. That is very discouraging for an employer. That's very discouraging if you had a friend like that. It's very discouraging just to be around people like that. People love to see energy. They love to see raw energy. They love to see a person who is persistent, goes out, gets it, doesn't take no for an answer all the time, doesn't become obnoxious, but again, is driven and determined. And then the third major piece of advice, that I would give people is seek wisdom, okay? There's a difference between intelligence, gut feeling, and wisdom, okay? People that are experienced, people that have been doing the job, or have been doing the career, or have been doing something for a long period of time, they have run through the gamut in many different ways. Now, you could say, well, you did it back in the 80s or the 90s, and now we're 2025 or 2026. Things are different. Yeah, guess what? When people were in the 1980s, they were saying that to the same people, oh, this is not the 1940s or the 50s or the 60s anymore. Sure, things change, but there is a lot of wisdom that you can gain from people with experience. Older people, people that have done the job, have seen it, have earned their stripes, have earned their badges. That's why, for example, in the military, there's a lot of respect for generals and commanders, because they have gone through what you're going through. They know what can happen. They can give solid advice. They can give you pearls of wisdom. Seek out those people that can give wisdom. I wouldn't always listen to somebody of the same level, because they're going through the same thing you are. It's good to commiserate, it's good to discuss, it's good to analyze, but wisdom is generally achieved over years of experience, and also talking to the right people. A lot of times I see, for example, if I relate this to the CFA program, people, seeking advice on how to pass level 2 by talking to people who just took level 2. Okay. I mean, they could tell you about the methodology they used, but they're not going to give you any kind of pearls of wisdom about things you should avoid, traps and things like that. In terms of structuring the exam, writing the exam, what to look for, what not to look for, they can only talk about their learning experience of level 2 and how they feel they passed. Seek out a little bit more sophisticated, a lot more experienced people for solid advice in whatever you do. Okay, I'd rather talk to somebody who's been playing tennis for 25 years and knows it and has achieved something in tennis than somebody that is starting out with me and is learning the ropes as well. Okay, that is pretty much the the three things that I would cite to you that I think are very important. One other thing, and I'm just going to add this up, and I'm going to add this in, and I'm going to go through this very quickly, is I hire people a lot of times to work with me on a project. And the key factors that I look for as an employer, and because I run my own company, is when I'm doing a project, I want to, I like people that tell me what they're going to do. Okay? When we're talking about a project or something, they tell me what they're going to do. Then they tell me, hey, Nathan, this project is going to be done by blah, 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 by this date. Fine. I have something in my mind when I'm going to see a completed product. And then I expect them, and that is an expectation, but I reward this a lot, is that they do what they said they're going to do when they said it would be done, and many times they actually finish early. That is many times a very big bonus in terms of keeping them on for the next project or keeping them in the chalk and board world, is that they finish the project early. And this could be anything from enhancing something on our website to doing something with the mock exams to doing something with, the video, whatever it may be. I like people that tell me what they're going to do, tell me when it's going to get done. They do what they said they're going to do, and many times they finish early. And then when they finish early, they don't just sit there, blah, 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 blah. And it's my job to now ask, where are they along? And then they say, oh, yeah, I'm done. They proactively follow up with me. They say, hey, Nathan, I'm done with this. Is there anything else I can do? They don't wait for me to actually ask. That's very important to me as an employer, as a boss, as the head of my company. I want to see that in people. Those are really very key skills. And if for any reason the project, let's say that we're developing something on the website, whatever, if somehow the project goes off track, okay, proactively, they tell me about it and they tell me why it's off track, okay, and what needs to be done to get it back on track. I don't have to scold them, or I don't have to say, why is this off track? They know why it's off track. They can communicate why it's off track. They can tell me what they're doing to get it back on track, and then they do it, okay? And they do that every single time. Yep. And if you can do this as an employee at a company, starting out, inform your boss what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it early, proactively tell them when you're done, do it every time like that, and if it gets off track, let them know and what you're going to do to finish it. You're doing better than 99% of the people out there that are working for companies. And you are going to get rewarded for that, and you're going to be very successful, in my opinion, in life too. Okay, that's the way I would do it, and because you're becoming value-added person, and that you will see yourself go far in life, and that's what I look for in the people that I hire. Hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions about the CFA exam or about prep for 2026 or November of 2025 or even 2027, reach out to me at chalkandboard.org. Thank you very much and have a great day.